Now, as you may be able to hear, we've got the pram out with us today. I know I don't want these videos to get all Molly-centric, because at Molly's age, I could talk about little things that happen to her every day, little bumps and colds and aches and pains and things like that. But she's actually okay, she's well, but something happened to her yesterday. And I just want to talk about it briefly because it leads into what I want to talk about today. I was out with Molly yesterday and she was right behind me. I kept looking over my shoulder because she was sniffing in the grass and everything was fine, and we're on a fairly wide footpath. And then all of a sudden I heard a scream, and I spun round and Molly was like, had fallen over by the looks of it, and got up and was moving sideways and then fell over again. And next to her there's a bloke with two, they weren't huskies, but they were like husky type things, and they were big. Now, I'm not saying they were trying to hurt her, I'm not saying they were trying to bite her, but this bloke had them at the end of a lead and he could hardly hold on to them, and they were there with the paws in the air, the front legs in the air, trying to get at Molly. And what I think had happened, I think they'd just jumped on her. And the thing is, I walked over and I was like saying, oh God, she's 15, blah, 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 blah. And I tried to touch her and she screamed when I touched her side, and I thought she got a cracked rib. Now, she cracked her rib a few years ago and I thought it's the same one. And when I went to the vet basically said there's not a lot you can do about it, just take it easy. And it was absolutely fine. So I thought, well, if it is a cracked rib, I'm just going to see how it goes. Anyway, she was all right this morning. She wasn't so good last night, but she was okay this morning. But it was terrifying. I hate seeing, and as I kind of tried to get near her, she ran away a few feet, about 8 to 10 feet, and her ears were back and down, and it's the most horrible feeling to see your dog frightened and hurt. And this couple, he was there with these bloody dogs, and I'm saying, for goodness sake, what's happened? What have you done? What have your dogs done? And he kind of dragged him in onto a short lead and scuttled off. He never even an apology, a word or anything. And I kind of was trying to get to Molly, and his wife was there. And she had a bike, and she was like pushing the bike, and he was walking the dogs. And I said, like, oh Molly, have they hurt you? And she just said, our dogs wouldn't hurt anyone. So I'm afraid, gentle though I am, I came out with quite a bit of quite rich Anglo-Saxon, to which she scuttled off and disappeared. And it was harrowing, and it was horrible, and it was upsetting. But it's all linked inextricably to what I want to talk about today. I think we, in the Western culture in particular, consider ourselves animal lovers, and a lot of us pet lovers. Now, why is that? We go out and we get a great deal of joy when we see an animal out in nature close up, something that we don't see every day. And I think this is kind of linked to our love of domestic animals as well. We love animals when we see them out in the wild because they're in a different environment. They are free and they're out there, and they're living away from us. We don't have much influence on them at all. And they're in a food chain. We see this lovely furry animal, this little small rabbit or whatever, a small deer, and we love it, and we realise that it's part of a food chain, and there's nothing we can do about that. Everything out there, even in the British countryside, is probably part of a food chain somewhere. And we have this kind of protective feeling towards them, don't we? We see a deer out in the fields and we kind of are in awe of it because of its beauty, but we also notice its vulnerability. We are aware of its vulnerability, that at any moment something can come along. A deer's quite big, so it won't be a predatory animal. But there are lots of dogs. I've seen deer being chased by dogs, and it's heart-wrenching, because to see it's a wild animal with all that grace and beauty, and we have a connection with it. But it's a different connection we have with domestic animals. We are remote from wild animals. We can admire them from a distance. We can protect them as much as we can by managing the environment for them, although we don't do a particularly good job at it for the most part. But it's away from it, it's distant, it's mysterious, it's enigmatic. But it's a different thing for our domestic pets. The thing with domestic animals, dogs, cats, rabbits, gerbils, horses, whatever you want to keep, we care for them, and that is the difference. We care for them. There's a symbiotic relationship between humans and domestic animals, pets. We give to them, but we also receive from them, and they receive off us, but they also give back to us in a completely 180 degree diametrically opposed way. But it works, and it works well. Dogs, for instance, I'm going to talk about dogs because I've got a dog and I've always had dogs, but dogs, the domestic dog in the UK wouldn't be able to live, Molly wouldn't be able to live as a feral animal on her own. She wouldn't survive. She has no idea how to get food. She's no idea how to hunt. She's no idea what to do to get water. She would just perish. I give her everything she needs to survive. She gives me joy and love and devotion and loyalty and adoration. And the thing is, it works the same way with our domestic pets, but in a different way. They receive love and devotion and adoration off us, and we give them food to survive. We give our pets love, adoration, loyalty, and they give us love, adoration and loyalty. And that's how it works. We give exactly the same thing that they give us. And we're tied up into kind of this doom loop of love, aren't we, for our animals? And it's great, but animals live shorter lives than us, and we know this. When we take on the responsibility for owning an animal, we know it. We know what's going to happen. We know the grief we're going to go through. We know the anguish when we lose a pet, and we're going to say, oh, I'll not get another one, and then you get another one, because we just have this natural yearning to nurture and love. It's just like having a child, isn't it? There's a natural thing in humans to want to look after something, to see it grow, to get that feeling you get, that pride that you get in seeing an animal grow, a child grow from being small to growing up to being healthy. And you put your body and soul into it, don't you? And a lot of money as well. And it's a funny thing that why it can be very financially expensive, but it is invariably very, very emotionally expensive. But we've put ourselves through it, and we've been putting ourselves through this for years, for thousands of years. People thousands of years ago had dogs. Yes, they were for hunting, but you're not telling me there wasn't an emotional link between the hunter-gatherer and his faithful dog. I believe there must have been. All through an animal's life, all through a pet's life, it craves love of us. It wants us to tell it it's a good boy or a good girl. Animals can be beaten, pets can be mistreated terribly. We know it goes on, we just hope it doesn't go on too much, but we know it does, and we hope it's getting less as people get more educated. But they just, all they want is that affirmation. It's affirmation. They just want to, they look at us as if saying, accept me. We can beat them all we want, and we do, and it's horrible, but that dog that is beaten will crawl back to the owner that's beat it. Will crawl on its bellies back to the owner that has beat it, just asking for affirmation, just asking to be forgiven for the wrong that it hasn't done. What have I done to upset you? Not why are you beating me? I must have done something wrong to upset you. What can I do to put it right? It's pitiful. I'd like to think I've never been in that situation with Molly. The only time I've ever shouted at her is when it's frightened me, when she's done something gone too close to a cliff edge or something like that, and I've gone, Molly! And it's basically, that's just my own fright coming out as a shout. And that's the only time I have never laid a hand on her in anger. I never would. She's never given me cause to. So they're looking for approbation and affirmation and acceptance and a pat on the head from us and love, and to let them be part of a pack, that we are the pack leader. That's all they want, and they will do anything. A dog, even Molly with a cruciate ligament, I'm going to put her in the pram in a minute, because when she fell over she seems to have taken that back to square one. They will do anything. She would walk until she collapsed for me. I have to be the judge of when she's walked too far. We all know that. You ask a dog, no, carry on. That dog will walk itself to death for its human. And that's what they ask of us. And we are just looking to look after and nurture something that we can love and adore, that will love and adore us back. It's a relationship, it's a loving relationship. And it's great, and I love it. And it's windy as hell out here. I hope it doesn't spoil the recording. Isn't it mad? We get a dog and we know that it's going to live 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, 15 years in Molly's case, and hopefully a little bit longer. And we get this, and we pour our heart and soul into it, we pour our money into it, we pour our love into it, in the knowledge that at the end of the day we will grieve, and we will probably grieve for the rest of our lives. We will grieve intensely for years. I met somebody this morning, we were just talking, and she said, she still grieves for her dog, and it was like 7 years ago, and she said, I still really miss her and I grieve for her, and we do. And I will for Molly. But we do it. We keep doing it. Doesn't that make us humans pretty damn wonderful people on the whole? We do horrible things to each other, but at the end of the day, I think we're good people, we're good at heart. An animal is like the underdog. There you go, the underdog. And like most of us, we like the underdog, we stick up for the underdog, and that's what we're doing. When we stick up for our dog, a lot of us would lay down our lives for our dog. It's weird, isn't it? But we keep doing it, and we will keep on doing it for generations and generations, hopefully. Unless dogs are banned, we'll do it. We'll have them, we will nurture them, we will grieve for them. And it's fantastic, and I love it. And I love that little dog down there who's mooching about. It's going in a pram in a minute. It's getting very windy, so I hope this is okay. But I don't think it's going to rain, and we're going to carry on because it's the evening. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening now, because it's been a rainy day and it's trying to blow my hat off. So before it blows my hat off, I shall wish you all well. We're coming up to the weekend. I wish you all well. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope your dog's happy. I hope your cat's happy. I hope your rabbit's happy. I hope your terrapin's happy. I hope your stick insect's happy. I hope your horse is happy. I hope your camel's happy. I hope your budgie's happy. And I hope we can see you on the flip. Peace and love.